parents. Remember when I said I was going to pick your sons up? I wasn't lying.
Every time there's a grooming gang update of some description, there's a big splash about a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl behaving, acting, and enjoying life as a whore. Is it a psyop? Yes, of course it is.
Yes.
And it's media funded, it's Qatar funded.
Do you know what? I am increasingly convinced. And I know lots of you will say, oh, Dan, this is a conspiracy theory. But honestly, look at all of the conspiracy theories that have come true over the past decade. So I'm just going to say it. I am increasingly convinced that Bonnie Blue, the whore, the sort of porn star prostitute who is now considered a mainstream figure, is a psyop. And I say that because have you noticed any time the Pakistani Muslim rape gangs and that scandal comes back into the news, all of a sudden, the mainstream media is all over Bonnie Blue and all over Bonnie Blue's new scandal, which seems designed to try and present white British women to the world as sluts, as whores, as people who are there to be used by, let's be honest, predominantly Asian men. Now, I say this for two reasons today, because as well as her bang bus stunt in Bali, which we'll get to in 1 second, dominating lots of the news sites, the previously respectable Spectator magazine, now being edited by Michael Gove and going into the gutter, has run an authored piece by Bonnie Blue today saying that she stands with Nigel Farage. Now, just before I show you that article, I want to play you a video of Bonnie Blue on LBC a matter of weeks ago admitting that she actually knew nothing about politics.
What about politicians?
Oh my God, I couldn't even tell you one thing about politics or...
Who would you vote for tomorrow? If there's an election tomorrow, you're standing at the ballot box, who are you going to vote for?
What's the options?
I'm going to give you Nigel Farage, Keir Starmer, Kemi Badenoch, Ed Davey. Labour, Tory, Reform, Lib Dem.
I honestly have no idea about any of them.
Have you ever voted at all?
No. And I know that's going to annoy people, but I don't care. I've not voted and I don't care to have an interest.
Okay, so you've noticed there, she was on LBC weeks ago, knew nothing about politics, knew absolutely nothing about politics. But today, Michael Gove's Spectator making her endorse Nigel Farage in a piece that they claim that this stupid woman wrote herself. This is what she apparently said. You shouldn't have to pay any inheritance tax as you've already been taxed on that money. When my granddad died, it was particularly sad because he was too young for my grandma to receive his pension. That's disgusting. Reform has sensible positions on immigration and inheritance tax, so I stand with Nigel Farage. Now, do you honestly believe, given the video that I just played you from weeks ago, that Bonnie Blue actually said that or actually wrote that? Of course she didn't. Because I want to show you what's really going on with Bonnie Blue at the moment, as this stunt in Indonesia, I believe, is timed by the mainstream media to try and present English white women in a particular way to the world. Watch. Dan Wootton Outspoken is available as a podcast too. So to listen or watch us on the go, wherever you are, then please subscribe on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you listen to your podcasts. And as a personal favour to me, please rate and review, as it really helps our independent show.
Hi. Good morning.
How are you?
What do you think about your kids? Are you doing any content?
You'd have to subscribe to find out.
You're going home soon?
Spend the day with me and some random practical.
Ya teman-teman sudah dulu ya, cukup ya. Oke, kasih.
Because she was arrested in Bali for allegedly making adult material. And let me tell you, that is a big no-no out in Indonesia. Right now, it's being reported that violating anti-porn laws there could get you locked up potentially for 15 years in jail and hit with a fine of about 6 billion rupiah. That's around $360,000. Now, what exactly is she accused of doing? Driving around in a truck labeled, sorry to say this, Bang Bus, and picking up young men allegedly to create pornographic material. In fact, she appeared to post herself on that truck on social media.
Hey parents, remember when I said I was going to pick your sons up? I wasn't lying. Hi boys!
Now, according to reporting from The Sun and Australian news outlet 9 News, 17 men, mostly from Australia and Blue, were arrested by authorities as part of a raid on her studio. Now, while it's being reported that 14 young men were released, Blue was apparently kept in custody, as well as 2 other British men and 1 other Australian guy.
Now, Nick Tenconi, I'm sorry. At this point, this is where my skepticism has now reached an absolute height. And I just want to show you this post by Queen Bee, who's someone brilliant on X, and I actually totally agree with her. She posted, as if by magic, the minute grooming gangs are in the news, as always, so is this degenerate scumbag. To remind anyone outraged by the mass rapes of British girls that actually they all love it really, and it's no big deal every single effing time, like clockwork. And Nick, you've got to admit that it feels like there is now an attempt by the mainstream media, including The Spectator, to normalise Bonnie Blue to such an extent that this is what white English women are really like. And it has taken away, Nick, from actually the most horrendous story of the week, which is, of course, the 15-year-old girl being raped on camera by the 2 Afghans. So am I crazy? Am I like, is this a nutty conspiracy theory on my part? Or is there something up with this psyop? But first, the #1 worst fruit for your waistline. Are you turning healthy fruits into highly unhealthy fruits without even realizing it? Fruit can be one of the healthiest things you can put into your body, but the majority of Americans are guilty of making this single mistake that can counteract all of the health benefits of fruit. Some fruits help with occasional constipation, reduce bloating, and even help burn calories. Others can wreak havoc on your digestive system and energy levels. I came across this viral presentation from world-renowned surgeon Dr. Stephen Gundry that showcases the 3 fruits to stop eating today. And it was shocking. I had no idea. And after finding it out, I've stopped eating these too. I'm going to put a link for you all to watch it because I want you to gain this information. I think it's truly important. You can watch it right now at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. That's thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. I also linked it in the description box below the video too, so make sure to click on it or just go to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. Oh, and by the way, eliminating these fruits could forever change the way we help increase energy levels, decrease brain fog, support digestion, and even lose weight. So make sure to click below or go to thehealthyfat.com/outspoken to find out now. Dr. Gundry has lost 70 pounds himself using his research and has kept the weight off for over 20 years and counting. His digestive issues are gone, his health is fantastic, and he feels younger and healthier today than he did in his 40s. His video has been watched by over 20 million people to date, and you can watch and learn more about it at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. It's linked at the bottom of this video, but he'll teach you exactly how he has kept his weight off for free at thehealthyfat.com/outspoken. Just click on the link in the description below the video. But now, back to the show.
No, Dan, you're not crazy. We're just living in a crazy world, and it's crazy times. Lots to unpack. First, hey feminists, you wanted it, you've got it. Bonnie Blue is the epitome, the epicenter of the nucleus, the love child, the birthing of what second wave feminists fought for. You could argue that there was always a liberal agenda, so that the women that fought for the second wave, whatever, feminist, whatever decade, the sexual revolution, they got the vote. I believe the second wave was the sexual revolution. So you could argue that there was a natural flow. There's a natural progressive flow. I don't mean to be nasty to anyone, but look, Bonnie Blue is feminism. Everything about the disgrace, the unholy, the vile, the wretched, the attention-seeking, the gluttonous, the prideful, the narcissistic, all of it stems from the ideology of feminism, the second wave. So, like, you know, to the feminists, like, you deal with it. You deal with it. Have the conversation with your husbands and with your daughters. Are you okay with this? So, like, there's a lot to unpack there, but you know, when we say we're taking our country back down, we mean it. I'm so done. Obviously, it's plain speaking when it comes to the party and our policies, as is my nature. But it's so disgusting. Now let's move on. So you're suggesting she's a state agent. Obviously, you and I have done this before.
Well, I
on
mean,
your show.
Simon Bradley in the live chat is actually saying here, well, maybe she's paid for by Qatar. I mean, it would certainly fit the purposes of the Islamist world, wouldn't it, for Bonnie Blue to be the way that English girls are seen. But what I know for a fact, Nick, is a lot of this is coming from a suicidal empathy approach from our mainstream media, who in the past would never have turned a porn star into, you know, being having, you know, gangbangs constantly into some sort of mainstream star. That is a choice that has been made by The Sun, by the Daily Mail. And the other thing I would just say about it is that, you know, when you think about Bonnie Blue and what she is doing, I just want to be very, very clear about this, and you know it's true. If she were black or if she were Asian, there is no way the mainstream media would ever cover her. They would just not do it. So it is an attempt to portray white English women in a particular way. I do believe that. Now, whether she's actually an agent of the state or is actually just being supported by these nefarious forces who actually are now anti-English, I'm not sure. But I do think that there is something bigger at play here. Because in the past, let me tell you, when I worked at The Sun and the Daily Mail, Nick, there is no way I would have, you know, I edited the Bazaar column in my past, for example. There's no way I'd be writing about a porn star. Absolutely not. You know, this has been a choice made by the regime media, a choice made by Michael Gove today, and shame on him.
Michael Gove. Yeah. So, well, again, so much to unpack. So, as much as I could go on thrashing the feminists forever, we'll move on. I have it on very, very good authority, in terms of the Muslim worldview and the Islamist worldview, that they believe that in terms of the rape genocide of Britain, so the specific, be very careful with our language, the specific and designated targeting and campaign to rape and molest, and in some cases kill, obviously traumatize, assault, degrade, specifically white, British, typically underage girls, specifically by Pakistani men. Regardless, let's leave the faith thing out for a second. Specifically those people, it's relevant now that Mike Tapper said Labour MP, now that he said what he said, and lots of other people have chimed in as well about the importance of noting the ethnicity, bearing in mind what we've seen happen recently in the courts with the defense lawyers about not wanting names to get out, and skin colors and religions and cultures, etc., etc. I know that it is both the Muslim and Islamist worldview that they say, from inside those two tents, they say the girls deserved it. I know that's fact. I know it is. They 100% think that the girls that came specifically, normally, presumably from broken homes, who had no parental care, who dressed the way they dressed, who potentially needed to find comfort and love in something or someone, these girls were as vulnerable as imaginable. And from inside the Islamist and the Muslim tent, they 100% think that the girls had it coming. And so we can basically glean from that the perpetrators, again, leaving faith out of it, we can glean that the perpetrators probably thought, so these guys were scumbags. I want to build this up to the main point about the key word here, which is terrorism.
Yes.
These guys probably thought, do you know what? They're fair game. We don't care. The wives at home don't care. The sisters, the aunties, the comrades, they don't care. So we'll just have our wicked way. It's all part of Arab supremacy. It's all part of Arab colonialization. And one day I will get like the Narindas and the Bushras and the rage baiters and wannabe hard men on X. I will get them exactly where I want them. And I will put this to them, much like Bob of Speaker's Corner has done many times with Islamic women, where they say, look, you do realize your prophet had sex with a 9-year-old, and the girls that are being asked these questions, they're forced to say, yeah, I absolutely understand that and respect that because I am a Muslim, therefore, and I know that's true. And it's one of those gotcha moments that sits with everyone forever, because now we know what's what, and forget the noise and winning points, point scoring. Just, I will get that opportunity where I will say to these people, you know who I'm referring to, these vile people, specifically on X. That's the killer question there. Admit it. You think your religion, your the self-entitlement, the arrogance that comes with your religion, and I'm on record as saying that, I've seen it enough times now, I'm sick of it. You thought the girls were fair game. The mothers, the wives, the aunties, the daughters, they weren't sickened by it. They, look, go have your fun. It's domestic terrorism that was imported as part of Britain's immigration policies for over the last 30 years. And it resulted in the rape genocide of Britain. At the exact same time, whenever this conversation rears up, the Bonnie Blue story comes up in the news. It's not a story. She's not a story. She's a no one. She's a vile, disgusting person who needs to repent, she needs to atone, and she 100% needs the church. That's for damn sure. She's going to get what's coming to her, which is also very sad as well, Dan. But every time there's a grooming gang update of some description, there's a big splash about a white, blonde-haired, blue-eyed girl behaving, acting, and enjoying life as a whore. Is it a psyop? Yes, of course it is.
Yes.
And it's media funded, it's Qatar funded. But again, we don't know. We've got to take our country back, which means we need power.
Thank you so much for watching Dan Wootton Outspoken. Please click on my face just to the bottom left to subscribe to this brand new independent news source and turn on the notification bell so you'll be alerted to our brand new live shows, uncancelled interviews, and special royal episodes. Outspoken is also now available as a podcast, so you can listen to the show every weekday on the go, wherever you are.